It's wild how cheating gets excused, but when a woman leaves, she gets judged. Hey love, I'm LaQuana McIntyre. Welcome to the Solo Woman Collective. I help women rebuild the identity that kept choosing the wrong men. Y'all, let's get into today's topic because this is a hot trending topic. I mean, you can't even get on social media without seeing this topic. And I honestly wasn't going to say anything about it, but after seeing a few remarks about this relationship, it was one that stood out in particular that I really needed to talk about, like real talk. And you guys know I'm talking about Kristy and Desmond Scott. And like I said, right now, y'all, like, it's everywhere on social media right now. I mean, if you don't know who they are, they're a famous online couple. They've been together for over a decade now, y'all. Like since they were 14, from what I understand. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. But now they're getting divorced because the husband cheated. Now there are a lot of nuances to that. Like a lot of people are saying, well, what did you expect? He was a young man. Like he didn't get to explore, live his life. But people were blaming her, saying she wasn't affectionate towards him or yada yada yada. But again, it's not even the story itself that stopped me, like, because I mean this goes on every day. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. But it was a comment, just like I said, it was a comment. So y'all, I saw where a man said something like, if she can leave after 11 years, and I'm gonna put it on the screen because to prove that it's real. But he said, if she can leave after 11 years because of cheating, then the love was never real. Okay. So I did sit with that for a second. I had to sit with that for a second because, y'all, I remember me from the past. Okay. Me and my old identity. I used to feel like cheating was a deal breaker. Okay. Like now it depended on the circumstances too. And for me, it was about how respectful or how disrespectful he was with the cheatation. Okay, I just made that word up. But yeah, once upon a time, cheating wasn't a deal breaker for me. The old identity, the old me, kind of felt that comment a little bit. I mean, it's not that saying the love was never real, but it was kind of like, oh dang, she left him after cheating the first time, one time, which more than likely he's cheated multiple times. Let's be clear. This is just the time frame that he got caught. But the woman that I am today, I have a very different perspective on it. So because of that sentence, y'all, that pretty much tells you everything about how women are expected to love. It's just that simple. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about, because listen, if you are around a man that keeps it honest and real, he'll tell you that's how a lot of men think. It just tells you how women are expected to love and how men are allowed to betray. So today, I'm not here to talk about them, even though they did inspire this topic. They inspired this topic, but I'm actually here to just talk about that belief in particular. Yes, I want to talk about that belief. Let's kind of do a deep dive, because what that is doing, it's technically rewriting betrayal as proof of her lack of love instead of acknowledging his breach. I mean, come on now, like, does that have a dog in the fight anywhere? That remark reframes her boundary as emotional fraud, as if like she was waiting for him to mess up. She couldn't wait for her exit. And we don't know, again, what the case could have actually been, but that's what it's saying. And what it makes me feel like as well is it centers male entitlement. It's just that simple. It centers male entitlement. It implies that a woman's love is only valid if she tolerates disrespect and infidelity. And I always talk about how we are constantly in a world where we're taught, what I always talk about how we are taught that we are supposed to be earning love versus just getting it because of who we are. But it does punish women for having standards. Remarks like that punishes women just for having standards and boundaries. Like some women, that is literally a non-negotiable for them. Negotiable. Y'all can get my words out, but it's non-negotiable for them, and they shouldn't be like called out for that. I mean, the underlying message that I get out of that is real love equals endurance without consequence. So if you cheat on me and I feel some kind of way, but I tell you that there's consequences, that means that I don't love you like that. Or if I choose to lead, that means I don't love you like that. Okay. Let's break that statement down again, okay? Because again, I just really had to like sit with that. He said if she leaves after cheating, the love was never there. So to me, in translation, what that means is love is measured by how much that you're willing to tolerate. Your loyalty is measured by how much pain that you're willing to absorb. And commitment means staying quiet when you're disrespected. And it's sad because there's a lot of relationships that are still going on to this day with that particular belief system. But that belief, it does not come from truth. Listen, we're grown. We should know that does not come from truth. That is simply coming from entitlement. Because notice who never really gets questioned. Notice who never gets questioned. Nobody says if he loved her, then why did he cheat? Well, we women say that, okay? But I'm talking about on the other side. You don't have a lot of men saying that if he loved her, then why did he cheat? If the love was real, why did he risk losing his family? Come on now. If that commitment matters, then why did he step outside of it? No, people aren't asking, or people on that man's side isn't asking those questions. The microscope goes straight to her leaving, and her leaving becomes the crime. Like, what? Where they do that at? And it's like this. I do kind of understand the mind of some men because I do know that cheating is normalized in a lot of men world. But again, if that's the type of mindset that you've been indoctrinated in, please do not at the same token bash someone who feels otherwise and leave that person where they be, okay? But here's the real issue. Here's what people don't want to admit. A lot of folks don't believe love includes boundaries, especially for these people that's been in these long-term relationships. It's like, what does boundaries look like? I don't tolerate everything under the sun as it is. They might as well relationships. And they believe that love means endurance. The more BS you tolerate, the more in love we are. Especially when it comes to women in particular. Women are taught, and this comes from our grandmothers, y'all, if you must be real, we're taught to stay. We're taught to work it out. We're taught to forgive again. Don't break the family up. Don't throw it all away. A piece of man is better than no man. At least he comes home. As if betrayal isn't already throwing it away. As if choosing yourself after years of loyalty means you never loved at all. And that's not a love standard. That's not a love standard. That's a survival expectation. And let's be real, a lot of women, if you are in a relationship like that right now as we speak, you're there purely off of survival. That is why you're there, purely off of survival. That is why our grandmothers stayed with our grandfathers, purely off of survival. If women back then had the money and opportunity like women have today, they will not have dealt with a lot of things that they dealt with. But let me say this very clear for all you ladies out here who still questioning yourself in those circumstances. Leaving does not erase love. What it does is it exposes what love was costing you. And for a lot of women, love has, and listen, I feel a lot of this, y'all, because listen, baby, I've done all of this. For a lot of women, love has meant shrinking, dimming your light, basically, explaining yourself, enduring, waiting, hoping that he gets better. Like, it's so many women who are finally seeing what it feels to be treated right, but that's only because the man is old and gray and nobody don't want him anymore. But when a woman finally says, I cannot carry this anymore, people, they rewrite the story. They love to say, she was cold, she gave up, she never really loved him. Y'all, I had this narrative put on me before, time and time again. Dude, no, he wasn't doing right. But as soon as I said, I don't want to talk to you anymore, dang, you tough. Dang, I don't think you really like me like that. Really? But because here's the truth that makes people feel uncomfortable though. The truth is though, she, or whoever I'm talking to right now loved deeply. You just stopped sacrificing yourself to prove it. And that's the same thing. I don't know, again, their story like that, but again, y'all don't know what was going on. Y'all don't know if that man was already cheating on the low. Yes, he seems like he may be a quiet man, but those are the sneakiest ones. And I know a lot of us women will collect data and sit on it and hit you out of nowhere. So y'all don't know how much data she had on him. But if this topic, y'all, is hitting you in the chest, I want you to listen to me closely, because this topic, again, it's not necessarily about a celebrity couple, but it's the quiet guilt a lot of women carry when they finally choose peace. Because there are some women who's left toxic relationships right now and they still feel like, dang, did I do the right thing? Especially if they haven't met another man yet, especially if they're still single. They question themselves and feel like, should I have sat and dealt with that? But with that guilt though, all that says is maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I should have stayed. Maybe leaving means I failed at love. But no, queen, you did not fail at love. I want you to understand that leaving after betrayal does not mean you didn't love. Because more than likely, y'all, like if you stayed with that man after so many years, you loved him more than you loved yourself. That's what people don't talk about. And all it is that you now loved him, but now you're finally loving yourself enough to stop the bleeding, stop suffering. That's not heartless. Like, I want people to stop saying that's heartless. That's clarity. And even if a woman bounces back quickly after a breakup, that doesn't mean that she's not hurting inside, but that just means, like, listen, she's ahead of the game. She's already ready to get on her glow up. And that does not mean moving on to another man. She's ready to put herself first. Kudos to her. And since I know some of y'all need this grounded, the Bible says love is patient and love is kind. It does not say love is unfaithful and entitled to access. It does not say love betrays and demands loyalty in return. Where did y'all get that from? Where? Love is not going to require you to abandon yourself to prove. It's not going to require you to abandon yourself to prove you meant it. God, he never asked women to suffer in silence to keep a man comfortable. The closer that you get, and I'm not trying to turn it into a sermon, but the closer that you get to your Lord and Savior, the easier it would be to move on out of that particular circumstance, if that is your current story at this moment. So y'all, that's all. That was just my little 2 cents on this whole little fiasco that's going on right now. And it's a bunch of stories y'all out right now. It's insane. But anyways, if anyone needs to hear this today, I want you to hear this clearly. Okay, again, a woman that chooses to leave after cheating does not mean the love was fake. It just means that you are no longer delusional. Okay, sorry, I don't mean to call you delusional, but it just means that the illusion broke, okay? And you finally met and see what self-respect looks like. You're embodying self-respect. And that's why that comment bothers people so much. Because when women stop tolerating betrayal, there are so many excuses that stops working. There's a lot of excuses that's going to stop working. And y'all, listen, if you one of the people that be out here cheating, you know what I'm talking about. And no, don't call her bitter neither, because that's not bitter, okay? That's just simply evolution, queen. That means she's evolved. That means you are evolving. If this made you think, I want you to sit with it. And if you are in that space where you're trying to figure out why choosing yourself feels harder than staying, then understand this. There's nothing wrong with you in this moment, okay? You're just finally in a period where you're waking up. And that takes time. All right, guys, if this video resonated with you, please be sure that you show your girl some love, and be sure you comment down below and hit the like button, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out.